everybody! Welcome to my channel. My name is Alice, and if you're new here, which I am assuming you are, this is the first video I've uploaded to this channel, welcome. I am just kind of making this channel as a not so serious, review channel of a few different products and brands that I have used and seen over the years. Just something fun and not serious at all, and might even upload a few life updates, just different stuff that is happening and I'm going through periodically, not all the time. But anyway, welcome. I really hope you consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification. If you do, you'll be the first to watch my content every time I upload. And yeah, thank you for joining me here today. Okay, so today I was doing a little spring cleaning. I was going through the house and just kind of, throwing out a few things, and I unearthed quite a few chapsticks. I hadn't realized that my chapstick hoarding had gotten this bad over the years, but apparently I have roughly around a dozen chapsticks in all, some of which I did throw away immediately because they were either dried out or melted, or I didn't really know they were a chapstick. It was questionable. What I did though is I rounded up all the usable chapsticks that I still plan on using and got them together here, and I'm gonna do four brand reviews for you. 4 brand reviews of different chapsticks, and just kind of give you my opinion on them, from everything, the packaging to how they actually apply, and whether or not they make your lips feel, soft and hydrated, or just kind of like, greasy. Maybe you're just like, it just sits on your lips and kind of doesn't really do anything. And yeah, I'll just be rating them 1 to 10, completely arbitrary scale. It doesn't really mean anything, and let you know my opinion. So the first chapstick that I want to review today is Burts Bees. Burts Bees is a brand that I kind of got into when I was younger. They seem like a really eco-friendly and, like a environment conscious company. They promoted, using like bee wax and helping bees in general, and I think they still do to this day. Their ingredients are anywhere from like 97 to 100% natural. I've seen it down to I think 97% natural. And generally looking at the ingredients list on the back of the packaging here, it does appear that they do use natural ingredients mostly. The packaging itself is really cute. It's just this little dark yellow base here, and the little cap. It's different colors to indicate what flavor it is, what kind it is, and applying it, yeah, it's very smooth and creamy. It's very, feels very nice on the lips. The scent overall is not, it's not overpowering. It goes away in about 30 minutes. You really can't smell it anymore though. You can taste a little bit on your lips. There's sugar in this, so you can definitely taste that when you lick your lips, or, if you lick your chapstick. The only instance in which I had a Burt's Bees chapstick that didn't go on smoothly was when I had one with SPF in it, and I don't know, for some reason that one just felt immediately dried out. It was chalky and gritty on the lips. It just didn't go on very smoothly, and I don't know if that was just an error, I had bought one that was already dried out or maybe very old, and the regular ones were just fine, or maybe that was just the way that the formula laid out on my lips. I remember using it a few times and then just throwing it away because I just couldn't stand that feeling, and it didn't really moisturize my lips at all. But that, honestly, that was the only case of having a Burt's Bees chapstick not go on smoothly. Otherwise, it goes on really smooth. It's very silky. I feel like I could put this on and just kind of go, throughout the day. It just doesn't really need to be reapplied unless you live in a really super dry climate, very wintry dry, where your lips can be chapped and almost kind of split down the middle like my lips do. So yeah, I think this is a great brand. I love the packaging. I think it's very cute. The formula, other than that one, seems very consistent, very good. I would give this one an 8 out of 10 because I like to think that it, this company is still helping the bees. At least I hope they are. Oh, gotta wipe off the Burt's Bees. Okay, So the next brand that I want to review is a brand that I see a lot in like thrift stores and grocery stores and Walmart. They're often sold in packs of 3s, and I'm referring, of course, to the brand Soft Lips. This brand of chapstick, like I said, is sold in a pack of 3 and is usually a really cheap price. I don't remember it breaking the bank when I went to check out. And generally, I think this is kind of, I don't know, the packaging here is really interesting. They come in these like kind of long, skinny tubes of chapstick. The white background with the Soft Lips text on it and the little flavor here at the end, all kind of reminiscent of like a cigarette. I'm not sure if anyone else sees that or it's just me, but they do kind of resemble like kind of a cigarette, you know, with a little filter. And you know, what was even funnier was I thought this was the end that came off, but actually it's this end, and you can roll it up quite a ways actually. So you do get a lot of product despite it being very skinny. But yeah, that kind of made me curious about who they were trying to market this chapstick to, and you know, the type of consumer that would be attracted to it. I don't know, it makes a good fidget too. I mean, I guess, like, so I just feel like it sends a message, you know, maybe a subliminal message, maybe it's part of that subliminal advertising or something, but overall, I do actually think the design is very cute. I like the little watermelon pattern. The watermelon was my favorite one out of the 3-pack that I bought. Okay, so applying to the lips, you know, yeah, it's very soft, it's very smooth, it's small, so you kind of have to go back and forth, you know, if you want to cover the whole area. And it has like the best fruit scent, like the best fruit scent out of any chapstick I've ever owned. Even Burt's Bees can't quite live up to Soft Lips and the scent of their chapstick. It doesn't last very long. It's only like 10 to 15 minutes maybe, but like, wow, it really, I mean, I can taste that juicy watermelon, and it's the same with all of the chapsticks. Like, it just has a really like vibrant and intense smell to it. Not so much a taste. It doesn't have very much sugar in it, but the problem I have is that after a while, it doesn't really seem to soak into the lips. My lips still kind of feel chappy. Sorry about that, guys. I thought I heard someone knocking on the door, but I guess, I don't know, I'm not sure what I heard. Anyway, no one was out there. Anyway, back to the brand. This brand, it doesn't soak into the lips super well, and if it's left on, it almost kind of takes on a very waxy texture. I don't know how else to describe it. It feels like you kind of rubbed a candle all over your lips. And so, the scent, like I said, does go away, so it's just, you're kind of left with like this waxy feeling that doesn't feel like it's super hydrating, and it just, I don't know, it kind of just sits there. So overall, I would say, like, considering that this, you know, has a certain look to it. Also, I don't think I mentioned with the packaging, this part at the end that you use to like spool it up, it's a little bit loose. Like, this was the case on all 3 of them. Like, it was a little bit loose, it's a little bit jangly. It doesn't really feel like it's very high quality. It doesn't feel like it would really like withstand being in a purse and just kind of like, you know, moving around a bunch. So I don't know, I would say that you know, this brand itself I would give a 6 out of 10. It's, you know, it's a decent chapstick if you're in a pinch, but like, I would say overall it's just not the greatest quality, both in packaging and in use. I would say you could give these to a kid to use. However, I just feel like the look of it sort of sends a message, and I'm not sure that that's a message that kids should be exposed to. So yeah, overall I would give Soft Lips a 6 out of 10. That was weird. I thought there was someone tapping on the glass at my door, but there was no one there when I went and checked. You hear strange things sometimes. Okay, so for the next chapstick that we are going to cover is I'm back. There's nothing there again, but it's fine. So anyway, as I was saying, the next chapstick brand that I'm going to cover today is, at first glance, I thought that it said organic, but instead it says Clyganic? I'm not sure exactly how to say that. It looks like they kind of smushed two words together, one of them being organic and the other that I'm not sure. What do you think they did here? What do you think the front word is there? The, like, climb, or, you know, clip, click? I don't know. It honestly feels a tiny bit more like that subliminal advertising I was talking about. But anyway, this brand I actually bought online at one point, and I remember you got like 6 of them for like $12 post shipping, so the price was right. I really enjoy that, and I really like the packaging too. I like the fact that it has the dark blue with the little color around the cap there, and on the cap you'd see I've used this one, telling you what flavor it is. They do list the ingredients on the back as well, which personally I really appreciate a brand that'll list the ingredients on the back of the chapstick. You never know when you're gonna need to know what's in those ingredients, and you need to know them right away. Sorry. But yes, okay. So yeah, the price was right, and I love the packaging. I love that dark blue with the color band around the cap there, and kind of on the cap too, kind of telling you what flavor it is. This one's eucalyptus mint. They give you a whole bunch of flavors, like eucalyptus mint. I remember one is citrus, vanilla, just plain mint, and then there's one that was unscented, which I gave to a friend of mine. And yeah, I think that it's really handy too that when a company prints the ingredients list on the back there, you can see, it's kind of out of focus, but you can see the, you know, the ingredients they use. They look mostly organic. So yeah, I would say this is probably a majorly organic lip balm. That's what they kind of seem to be marketing here. And the only thing I kind of noticed they had rave reviews, like on all the reviews were very, very positive, and there, except for one, kind of mentioned that the formula, whatever it is extremely soft. And oh my gosh, they were not lying. This formula is so soft that I fear it would maybe melt at room temperature. Like if your house was somehow 70 degrees, like this might liquefy. My house is currently in the 60s, so and we're safe for now, but in the summertime I do worry about this. I'm kind of concerned they might leak over stuff if they get too warm. It's just a very, very soft formula. It applies really smoothly, almost kind of wet to the lips, and you don't need much of it to just kind of spread around and, you know, hydrate everything. So all in all, I would say it's a, you know, it's a very hydrating product. It smells very faint, and it doesn't taste very sugary. There might be a slight sugar to it, but it doesn't taste very sugary, and the smell is very faint. It goes away very quickly, which is a plus for some people. Some people don't like an overly perfumey chapstick. So yeah, I would say that this chapstick, overall I would give it probably an 8 out of 10. It might have been higher had the formula been a little bit more able to withstand heat, I guess. Maybe that is because of the ingredients being organic. I will say it soaks really well into your lips, and it does make them feel very soft and hydrated. This is a chapstick, again, I could apply once and just probably be done for the day, you know, unless it was like a really super cold day and I was gonna be out in the cold and stuff like that. This chapstick would just be good for, you know, once applying and going about your day. I would give it a higher rating if it weren't for the fact that I was kind of worried that it's gonna like melt, and that also you would kind of need a little bit more maybe than your standard chapstick. Like it feels like you use a little bit more than standard chapstick because it applies very heavily on the lips. And yeah, I don't know, it's just, It's a really good brand. I've never used Clyganic before. I've never used them. So yeah, it's a very interesting, very unique brand, and I would definitely recommend it to the average consumer. Yeah, Clyganic. Sorry, today was kind of a spooky review. I don't know, I think it was the wind that was kind of moving through my house. Sometimes a breeze picks up and the doors like to move on their own. Like, just kind of happened there. I don't think there's someone in my house. I went and checked, so I think we're okay. But anyway, the last sorry, that spooked me again. The last review that we're going to do today is on the ever popular, ever colorful and chunky Nivea chapstick line, or I guess chapstick and shimmer, because I bought that one in a set of 2 with the milk and honey one. I didn't know Nivea was a makeup company, and I'm not sure if the shimmer would apply, you know, I'm not sure that a shimmer would necessarily be considered a lipstick. I think maybe you just apply it over top of your lipstick to give your lips kind of a little shimmer. And you probably can do that just wearing no lipstick either. As you can see, I don't really wear any makeup. So yeah, I thought that I would try on this one for you. I just want to say, I really like the packaging that Nivea does. It has a lot of, you know, it's very colorful. I like colorful things. I like the bold white lettering in the front there and sort of the frosted, you know, look of the cap. It's really chunky. You feel like you get a lot of product in there, you know, whereas the other one was really skinny. It was tall, but it was very skinny. This one's pretty tall and it feels like there's a lot. So I'll just try this on for you. Now, like I said, I didn't know that Nivea did makeup stuff. So like, yeah, I'm not sure if you would consider this like exactly a lipstick or something you would put over top of lipstick, maybe to hydrate your lips and also kind of give them a shimmer. I don't know that it necessarily works for my lips, but it goes on very smooth. It feels almost matted, like it doesn't feel slick or like greasy in any way. It just kind of feels like it soaks immediately into your lips. And as far as I can tell, it doesn't really smudge that much either, or if it does, it doesn't, you know, really appear anywhere. It kind of did a little bit on my finger there, but yeah, just giving it a little bit of swatch on my hand. You can see just in the regular light there, it's kind of just a little bit of a shimmer, just a little bit on your lips, and it does feel hydrating. I like the way that it makes my lips feel like, I don't know, like smooth, but yet kind of almost textured at the same time. My biggest issue with the Nivea brand, and this goes to all of their chapsticks, all the ones I own anyway, is that there is a very strong, very pungent perfume smell on my lips. It is a smell that lasts for as long as you keep the product on, so it, you know, it really stands the test of time, and there's no other way to describe it other than just like a floral perfume scent. It's just very floral, very perfume. You can just, you know, smell it constantly as you're wearing this product, and it's just such a shame because I like everything else about this product, but like having that taste near my mouth and getting it kind of in my mouth, you know, especially if I'm going to be eating something, it just doesn't work for me. The one with SPF in it, yeah, this is the worst offender. This one is just like, it's just straight up like spraying your mouth with perfume, in my opinion. The pink is actually the least offensive one. It still has that perfume undertone, but it seems like there's a little less perfume than these other two, which again, I feel like is a real shame. I want to give these a higher score, but I'm gonna have to go with like a 7 out of 10 because while I'll use these in a pinch, they're really not my go-to chapsticks because they taste awful. They just leave an awful perfumey taste in your mouth, and I I don't care for that at all. Otherwise, everything else from the packaging to the formula, the application, these two also work really well. It feels like that the SPF one protects your lips, and the Milk and Honey just makes them feel really soft and hydrated. It's just, I can't get over that smell. That smell is just awful. Well, anyway, thank you all for staying and watching this long. You really made my day by doing that, and again, I apologize for all the weirdness that happened during this. It won't be like that every time. It's just, I think the wind is moving through the house and kind of causing some disturbances. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.